Come here. Come here. Come do a little thought experiment with me. Close your eyes. Picture this. It's 2008. You've just spent 3 hours in front of the bathroom mirror straightening your hair. You have smashed your junk into the tightest pair of skinny jeans you own, and you're making your way to the family computer to spend, I don't know, several hours on MySpace. But wait, holy shit, the lineup and dates for this year's Warped Tour just dropped. Hey Mom, can you take me to Hot Topic? Mom!
Yes, for a big portion of our middle and high school years, we were epic little scene kids. It molded us into the people we are today, and we still carry some of that with us. Beneath the surface, there's a shy, pimply-faced teen version of me, just begging current me to keep wearing skinny jeans. No. Have you seen these love handles? But nothing crossed over into our adulthood more than the music taste. About a decade and some change ago, I was riding the school bus, listening to my Sansa MP3 cranked to full volume, listening to bands like Attack Attack, Attila, and A Day to Remember. But you know, since then I've matured a little bit, and now I listen to bands like Beartooth, Lorna Shore, and A Day to Remember. Listen, If It Means a Lot to You is a classic, and I will absolutely still belt it at the top of my lungs on the drive home from work.
While you were riding on that school bus, I was driving around town in my 1993 Ford Explorer Eddie Bauer edition. I mean, this thing had the sketchiest sound system, courtesy of our good friend Alex. I was blasting, absolutely blasting, too loud for anyone's good. Bands like As I Lay Dying, Bring Me the Horizon, and Suicide Silence. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Before you come at me, this was pre-hiring a hitman to kill your wife, As I Lay Dying. That being said, 2 out of those 3 bands are still in my regular rotation today. Something about those scene days fundamentally shaped who I am in ways that still impact me today as a 30-year-old man. Whether it was finding new music, perusing inspo for a new haircut or hypothetical future tattoo you might get, or simply browsing the epically cute scene babes. The internet of the time held it all. This mid-2000s internet culture was hugely formative for any millennial kid with a computer, but it was truly a safe haven, not to mention divine inspiration for all those kids who only went outside once a year for the Warped Tour.
MySpace and eventually Tumblr became huge for the scene and emo communities. Perfect places to post a quarter of your face, I Can Has cheeseburger memes, and melancholy lyrics over a cloudy mountain background. They were websites with near unlimited customization, forcing us all to learn complicated HTML code at the tender age of 12.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can overstate just how influential internet places like MySpace and Tumblr or the annual pilgrimage were for not only my musical awakening, but also the aesthetics and fashion trends that I was aiming to replicate. I mean, don't you remember 2009 Oliver Sykes and Drop Dead?
But since it's been brought up, let's touch on Warped Tour, the mecca for all alternative youth. And like Mecca, it was a huge gathering of people wandering somewhat aimlessly under a boiling hot sun. That's what Mecca is, right? Fashion was absolutely and unequivocally overfunctioned when Warped Tour came to your state. All black clothes, pounds of makeup, hair extensions, beanies, hoodies, skinny jeans, and an endless sea of Converse and Vans. All in 90+ degree weather with nary a water bottle or sunscreen in sight. All these poor souls coming together in one place to worship the people that brought the most meaning into their life. With their lyrics and their breakdowns and what? The band members were doing what with the kids? That many of them? Oh my god. Okay. Maybe it was for the best that we shut that down.
Yeah. Regardless of all that, Warped Tour was the event of the year for anyone into mid-2000s alternative culture. The crown jewel event for any kid with a fringe and a pair of his sister's skinny jeans that are 2 sizes too small for him. I remember specifically saving every dollar leading up to Warped Tour just so I could go back to school in the fall looking like I belonged on the cover of AP magazine. However, we might be getting lost in the weeds here. Warped Tour was not the only piece of the scene kid puzzle, though it may have been the flashiest. Despite garnering disdain from the old heads at the time, the years from 2008 to 2013 saw alternative culture break into the mainstream in a way that it had not in decades. Taking inspiration from emo, hardcore, and death metal, metalcore bands were topping the Billboard charts. These same bands who were topping the charts were also influencing the fashion trends that the teens were getting into at the time, ushering in the time when Hot Topic was paved wall to wall with brightly colored monster tees with epic impact font slogans on the backs. Finally, a place that has skinny jeans for dudes.
Kids all across the country were getting in trouble at school for sagging their pants way too low or having shit like this on their t-shirts. Nice.
Oh, and don't forget the insane amount of facial piercings everybody had, and earlobes stretched beyond the point of no return. Seeing as we've already mentioned it a couple times, Hot Topic was obviously another big part of our scene kid youth. I mean, just about every kid I knew shopped there and dreamed about working there one day. Hell, both me and this guy worked at our local Hot Topic for a few years. I was even the store manager at one point.
Many a half hour I spent in a Hot Topic back room eating a cup full of mall pretzel bites. But outside of that, I was always stoked to make a trip there to see what new rotation of band tees they got in. Please, for the love of God, have the nasty Ronald McDonald Miss May I shirt. Please! The funny thing about Hot Topic is every generation thinks the new generation's version of the store is bad. I went to one recently and it was just about the same as it ever was. Shirts with bad memes on them, anime shit, a cute Hello Kitty-esque character on a blanket, and band shirts. It's the same thing. It's always been the same thing, and it will always be the same thing. I don't give a shit what the old heads say. The only difference is the merch isn't covered in the thing that you liked when you were young. So what's the state of scene in emo today? Well, fashion is cyclical, so it's alive and well, baby. TikTok has a home for everyone, and that's definitely true for alternative culture and fashion.
TikTok today serves much the same purpose that places like MySpace and Tumblr did for us grumpy millennials. We recycled the fashion, the music, the aesthetic tastes of the emo and post-hardcore days of the early 2000s. And we made those things our own in ways that is now being recycled again by the younger generations. Seeing Zoomer covers of Pierce the Veil songs that I jammed out to as a teenager is both, one, incredibly aging, and two, very heartwarming. It's really cool that the sounds and the aesthetics of my formative years are being kept alive by the younger generations. Hey, I think these kids are pretty alright.